January 3rd, 2026, 2 a.m. Caracas, Venezuela. The lights went out across the capital. Over the next 30 minutes, American forces would capture a sitting head of state. But it's what allegedly happened to the defenders that went viral. A Venezuelan guard claimed a mysterious device caused his men to bleed from the nose, vomit blood, and collapse. The White House shared the interview. Defense analysts scrambled to explain, and a theory emerged: sonic shields. So what actually happened that night? Was this an exotic new weapon, or something far more conventional and arguably more impressive? This is the full breakdown of the technology that captured Nicolas Maduro. The claim. In the days after the operation, an interview circulated online. An alleged Venezuelan guard described watching radar shut down, then drones and 8 helicopters arriving with approximately 20 American soldiers. Then he described something unusual, a device that emitted an intense sound wave. He said his men experienced headaches, like the head exploding, nosebleeds, and some vomited blood. He claimed they were paralyzed by the sound. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt shared this interview on social media. It went viral. But here's what most coverage left out. This account has never been independently verified. The Pentagon has not confirmed any exotic weapons were used. According to a senator who attended a classified briefing, reported by The Debrief, the Pentagon explicitly denied using experimental acoustic or directed energy weapons in Venezuela. So what was the sonic shield? And what actually disabled Venezuela's defenses? Let's start with the machine at the center of this operation. The machine. The USS Gerald R. Ford is the most advanced aircraft carrier ever built. 100,000 tons, over 75 aircraft, a crew of approximately 4,500, and a propulsion system that fundamentally changed what carriers can do. Older Nimitz-class carriers use steam catapults. Steam builds up, releases, and launches the aircraft. But steam takes time to regenerate. Launch too many jets too quickly, and pressure drops. The catapults lose power. The Ford uses something different: the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMLS. Instead of steam, it uses linear induction motors. Electricity flows through coils embedded in the flight deck. Magnetic fields accelerate the launch shuttle, 0 to 170 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. The key advantage is recharge time. Steam catapults need approximately 4 minutes between launches. EMALS recharges in 45 seconds. That's a 5-fold increase in theoretical launch tempo. Now, it's worth noting, EMALS has had reliability issues. In 2022 testing, it achieved 600 cycles between failures, well below the 4,166 target. The Navy says improvements have been made, but this is real engineering, not science fiction. Systems have limitations. The Ford's A-1B nuclear reactors generate approximately 13,800 volts of distribution capability, roughly 3 times the electrical capacity of the older A-4W reactors on Nimitz-class carriers. That power runs everything: the catapults, the radars, the advanced weapons elevators. Those elevators are electromagnetic too. They move ordnance from the magazines to the flight deck at 150 feet per minute. The Navy says this reduces aircraft turnaround time from approximately 40 minutes to 22. That's where sustained operations become possible. The geometry. The Ford was positioned in the Caribbean as part of Operation Southern Spear, the broader military buildup that began in late 2025. By January, the carrier strike group included 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group. The F-35C Lightning II has a combat radius of approximately 770 miles on internal fuel. Position the carrier at the right distance, and aircraft can reach target, loiter, and return with reserves intact. But here's where the Caribbean creates problems. It's called evaporation ducting. In hot, humid environments, water evaporates rapidly from the ocean surface, creating a dense layer of moist air. Radar waves can get trapped in this layer, bending and bouncing unpredictably. The Ford was designed with this in mind. It carries dual-band radar, SPY-3 X-band, and SPY-4 S-band frequencies. The S-band scans the upper atmosphere, ignoring surface clutter. The X-band uses a narrower beam that's less susceptible to moisture refraction. 80 miles closer to Venezuela, the USS Bataan, a Wasp-class amphibious assault ship, carried F-35Bs. The B variant doesn't need a catapult. It uses a lift fan powered by the main engine through a drive shaft. Vertical takeoff means faster response times from a closer position. The Invisible War. The real key to this operation wasn't sound. It was electrons. The EA-18G Growler is the Navy's primary electronic warfare aircraft, derived from the F/A-18F Super Hornet, operated by squadrons nicknamed the Zappers. Its job is to blind enemy air defenses. The Growler carries jamming pods under its wings and belly. The AN/ALQ-99 Legacy system and the newer AN/ALQ-249 next-generation jammer can locate enemy radar emissions in real time, drown them in noise, simulate false targets, and disrupt military communications. Venezuela's air defense network included Russian-made S-300 batteries, Buk M2E surface-to-air missile systems, and Chinese-made JY-27 long-range radars. Systems marketed as capable of detecting low observable aircraft like the F-35. According to Global Defense Corp, Venezuelan radar operators reported that moments before precision strikes, quote, all the monitors of the radar were in interference, and it looked as if someone had thrown a handful of sand at the screen. The systems didn't fail mechanically. They were overwhelmed electronically. Post-strike imagery showed destroyed radar positions and damaged Buk M2E components. 2 launchers and a command post. The radars weren't just jammed, they were targeted. A GM-88 HARM missiles home in on radar emissions. Turn on your radar and you paint a target on yourself. This is what actually blinded Venezuela, not a mysterious sonic device. Electronic warfare aircraft doing exactly what they were designed to do: suppress enemy air defenses so strike aircraft and helicopters can operate freely. The acoustic theory. So where did the sonic shield concept come from? It originated not from the Pentagon, but from analysis of the operation's tactical approach. The theory goes like this: you don't hide from enemy sensors by going silent. You hide by flooding the battle space with noise. Over 150 aircraft participated in Operation Absolute Resolve. When that many jets are flying, launching, recovering, orbiting, the acoustic signature is enormous. Jet engines produce continuous, overwhelming noise across a wide area. The theory suggests this created acoustic camouflage. Delta Force helicopters, MH-47G Chinooks, and MH-60M Black Hawks from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment flew low, their rotor noise masked by the calculated chaos of jet operations above. This isn't a new concept. In 1989, during the Panama invasion, the U.S. blasted rock music to disorient Manuel Noriega. That was psychological harassment. The Venezuela operation, if this theory is correct, would be a technical evolution, using operational noise as tactical cover. But here's the important distinction. This is a theory. It's logical. It fits the operational tempo, but it has not been officially confirmed. What about the symptoms? Let's address the viral claim directly. The Venezuelan Guard described bleeding, vomiting blood, and paralysis from a sound-based weapon. Defense experts have weighed in, and their consensus is skeptical. The most likely candidate is LRAD, the long-range acoustic device, sometimes called the voice of God. It emits focused sound up to 140 decibels. LRAD can cause pain, disorientation, and hearing damage. The U.S. has used it for crowd control. But according to Fox News interviews with defense analysts, LRAD doesn't typically cause bleeding. What could cause those symptoms? Blast overpressure from explosions or flashbangs, psychological stress and panic, memory distortion after concussive events, or simply exaggeration. The account came from one anonymous source and has never been corroborated. Snopes rated the sonic weapon claim as rumor. The debrief reported that the Pentagon denied exotic weapons to the Senate Armed Services Committee. Interesting Engineering noted the symptoms are inconsistent with known acoustic technology. The evidence points to conventional tactics executed at an extraordinary level, not science fiction. The execution. Here's what we know happened. January 3rd, 2026, approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. in Caracas, U.S. Cyber Command targeted Venezuela's power grid. Lights went dark across the capital. Communications were disrupted. Over 150 aircraft entered Venezuelan airspace. F-22 Raptors and F-35s provided air superiority. B-1B Lancers struck military targets. EA-18G Growlers jammed radars and communications. According to NBC News, General Dan Kane confirmed the operation involved aircraft from 20 bases across the Western Hemisphere. Delta Force operators, supported by the FBI hostage rescue team, flew from the MV Ocean Trader. Their helicopters crossed the Venezuelan coastline at extremely low altitude, reports say approximately 100 feet, using terrain to mask their approach. They reached Fort Tiuna, a fortified military compound in central Caracas. According to reports, Maduro attempted to reach a steel-reinforced safe room, but didn't make it. Within approximately 30 minutes, he and his wife Celia Flores were in custody. The entire operation, from first strike to extraction, took approximately 2.5 hours. U.S. officials reported 7 injuries and 0 fatalities. Venezuelan sources claimed approximately 100 killed. What it actually demonstrates: the Maduro capture didn't require exotic weapons. It required integration. Space Command provided real-time satellite intelligence. Cyber Command disabled communications. Electronic warfare aircraft suppressed air defenses. Strike aircraft destroyed threats. And Special Operations Forces executed the capture. According to the Modern War Institute at West Point, the operation showcased layered effects through integrated domains. It also exposed the vulnerability of Russian and Chinese air defense systems to American electronic warfare, a lesson that analysts say Moscow and Beijing are studying closely. The Sonic Shields narrative is compelling. It sounds futuristic. It makes for viral content. But the reality is arguably more impressive. The United States demonstrated the ability to coordinate over 150 aircraft, cyber operations, electronic warfare, and ground forces to capture a head of state in 30 minutes, using technology that already exists. January 3rd, 2026, 150 aircraft, electronic warfare, cyber operations, 0 U.S. casualties. The Sonic Shields may be myth, but what they actually used, that's documented, that's verified, and that's exactly what this channel covers. If you want more breakdowns of real military operations and the technology behind them, subscribe to Military Briefing.